And it needs to be, I would think, in today's world, unique and compelling. You can't be one of 100 other people offering the same product or service, right?
Yes, in fact, I did worked with a life coach the other day who I said to her, "Oh, please don't tell me you help people get unstuck." Because every life coach that I've talked to says I help people get unstuck. Unstuck from what? From what? So there has to be, it's all the same thing that you and I are talking about. What is the need and how do we fill it, and why you? Why you? Um,
Shelley,
I'm
there's
just
a great a kids movie that when my son was young, we watched together, and it was about robots. And there was a robot business owner in there, and Mel Brooks did the voice, and the Mel Brooks robot said, "You find a need, fill a need," and it really comes down to
correct.
that, and
You're right.
that's always stuck with me. But I guess the big question is in today's world, as we do come out of the pandemic, and I do believe we will in fits and starts. At what point do you go, look, what I'm doing right now, I don't care how much I love it, I don't care how passionate I am about it, it's just not sustainable. So, when do you pull the ripcord and go, I got to move on and do something else?
Gee, how do you answer that question? You think that I don't have days when I look at the magnificent brand I've created, the curriculum, the work? Everybody looks at their product and says, maybe I should just quit. Maybe I should just get a job.
Yeah.
Um, Winston Churchill says, when you're going through hell, just keep going. I understand the need for revenue, but I mean, and you're asking a question. What if you're the sole provider and you need to bring in money? I mean, you may have to just go get a job. Otherwise, as an entrepreneur, there's so many stories and books where people have mortgaged their homes and sold their cars and done whatever they've had to do because they believe so much in themselves and in their offerings. So at what point do you quit? I guess that's based on whether you need to eat or not,
Yeah.
And someone else asked me a question. They said, where did I think it all being wealthy begins? I think it all begins with your spending and your saving. Really trying not to get yourself in a situation where, if as an entrepreneur, maybe you don't have so much this month. I mean, December and January can be ghostly quiet. Around tax time can be ghostly quiet. Am I still in business? But I think part of that is being prepared for the highs and lows, running a business that can sustain those times, being money smart. That's really a huge part of being an entrepreneur.
You talked, Shelley, about look, at some point you may have to go out and get a job just to keep the lights on and keep food on the table. There are people in large swaths across our country who live in cities, live in small towns in America where the industry there is dried up, and there is nowhere to just go out and get a job. There isn't even a McDonald's that's hiring, or
No restaurants even. I agree with you. What are you going to do?
especially today. And of course that causes all sorts of things to happen, whether it's migration to other more economically advantageous areas, whether you move into the city, whether you move out of the city. I wonder if you would have any thoughts for those people who are in areas like that are just struggling economically. I always think about my home area. I grew up in the coal fields of southern West Virginia, and that industry has been on the downward slide because of automation for the last 40 years. And then it tends to get helped along politically sometimes when the administration says, okay, no more coal-fired power plants. And to take yourself out of the economic and philosophical discussion a little bit and drill it down to the people who have subsisted in that industry for generations and generations. If there is no job to go get, what do? Do you create your own way like you did as an entrepreneur?
I mean, we're talking about extreme times, and I think you paint a very good picture. My own daughter is a college graduate capable of much, but she took a nanny job And why did she take a nanny job? She took one because the people that are working from home, it's one of the top jobs in the entire country right now, being a nanny. Is this her life's choice? No, but she's making decent money, and she moved home. If there are no jobs, then we have to hope the government helps some people. And again, you're wise with whatever you get.
Right.
They're, very wise. If you get $500 a week, you don't go out to dinner or you don't order in. You just have to be money wise. These are unique times. Yeah, I think that you do. You read as much as you can. You think of something you can sell, you can make. But I'm not saying that there's one word of that is easy. Easy.
Shelly Berman-Rubera is the author of 100 Tips to Small Business Results. It's available at Amazon, wherever books are sold. Keep your chin up. Be good to one another. Thank you so much for listening to our Big Time Talker podcast, the service of SpeakerMatch.com. Now go out there and make it a great day. Bye, everybody.